This picture here is actually the Toburn mine up in Kirkland Lake. And I remember taking the picture the first time that I went to visit Kirkland Lake last year. And I'll be honest, when I was going up there, it was one of those things, I wasn't really excited to go visit Kirkland Lake. I grew up in Northern Ontario. I knew what it was like. It wasn't an exciting, extravagant place. It wasn't somewhere I wanted to go. And I'm driving along. It's 7 hours north of Toronto, and I get to the last fork in the road, and it says left to Swastika, right to Kirkland Lake, and I say out loud, that's a really unfortunate name for a town. And so make my right into Kirkland Lake, and before long, I come up on the left-hand side of the road. There's a massive head frame, and it's right at the edge of the road, and that's the Macassa shaft number 4. And, I drive a little bit further. I see the town sign. I go into the town borders. And on the left-hand side of the road again, I see a monument that's dedicated to fallen miners. And I start thinking, I'm like, where am I? What kind of place is this? And then I come up to this, and this is the Mile of Seven Mines dedication. And this is on the edge of the side of a community building. And, 30 feet high, this absolutely massive mural. And it covers the mines from the Macassa to the Toburn. And then I come up to the Toburn, and I'm standing under this beautiful old historic structure, bright red, and it's iconic. It goes along with Kirkland Lake. And I'm standing there, and I can feel the energy of what's gone on over the last 100 years. And what they've done with this is they've turned it into a museum. And so you can walk around the grounds and you can see the old cages and the old miners, how they worked. And I'm walking around, and I find this sign. So 42 million ounces of gold in the region have been mined up to 2012. And from where I saw the Macassa mine up to the Toburn mine, 27 million ounces had been mined. And that was under less than 2 kilometers. And it's absolutely mind-blowing. When I was standing there, that was the first time that I got excited about this project. And that's when I thought, yeah, we are going to find something else here. So I will be making forward-looking statements in this. To give you an idea of where we are and what we look like, we have $5 million in the bank, which a lot of companies can't say right now. We have 88 million shares out, and we have some very strong shareholders in Eric Sprott, Earth Labs, and Newfound Gold. Our board of directors are a very strong team. Every single one of them has had a great transaction where they've built up a company and sold it off to a major, and that's exactly what we're looking to do. We share borders with a lot of great companies because they're all in the Abitibi Greenstone Belt. So along the southern border here is the Larder Lake Cadillac Deformation Zone, and you can see us with that white star, and that's Kirkland Lake. So to date, they've discovered over 30.7 million ounces of gold, and that trend continues along right across to the Quebec border of Val-d'Or. So this is our land package. We have the largest consolidated land package in the camp with 38,000 hectares. As I said, it's a century-old mining camp. It's been around a long time. And all those things I was talking about there, you can see the Macassa mine down here and then continuing up. And those dots there are the 2 kilometers that I was talking about. And we're just north of that. And on the west side of our property, we're looking for an orogenic lode gold system that's very similar to the Macassa mine. And we're also looking on the west, or on the east side, sorry, for another Upper Beaver, which is an intrusive copper gold complex. And I liked what Sean was saying in the last one, that you're looking in the shadows of the head frames, and that's exactly what we're doing. And so we're very close to those borders. We have Eldorado Gold that's between our land package. We have Agnico south of us, and we have Mag Silver that's just to the east. We were lucky enough that Metal Earth did a massive study where they had $100 million of research and development, and they're basically looking to figure out why is the Larder Lake Cadillac Deformation Zone so well endowed. And so you can see at C1 there, that's the Larder Lake Cadillac Deformation Zone. And you can see that it's deep-seated. The seismic study and the MT study basically show that it goes connected all the way down into the mantle of the Earth. What we were excited about is that this transect ran right across our property. And so that red line that's going up and down there, That's that transect. And so they ran geophysics, they ran magnetotelluric, they ran seismic, and spent millions and millions of dollars. And we were fortunate enough as a small junior miner company to take advantage of this. And what they showed is that the Mulvin Lake, the MLF, is deep-seated as well. And those are those two blue lines that go across the property there. And so that really told us that, okay, this is deeply connected to the mantle. There's going to be gold-rich fluids that are coming up with this. This is something we can get excited about. This is the Lucky Strike property, and we flew high-resolution geophysics over the property this summer. And from that, the hurricane zone really popped out. There's this oval-shaped intrusive surrounded by a magnetic high, and it mimicked exactly what the Lucky Strike, or sorry, what the Upper Beaver looked like. When we got out there and got to kick some rocks, we found that over the 3 kilometer by 7 kilometer area, there was copper and gold throughout it. And that's what we got really excited about. The two areas of major interest are the Jensen zone, which is to the east, and then for that one we had up to 2 grams per ton gold and 0.7% copper at surface. And then the other one that we were really interested in was the Whiskey Jack. And the Whiskey Jack numbers didn't return as high as we had hoped, but the alteration of the rocks was so extreme that they couldn't recognize what the rock was. And so that means there was a really good heat source, good hydrothermal fluids, and that's what we want in this type of system. And so we're actually in the process of testing this as we speak. So today we have our First Nation partners and our geologists spotting holes, making sure that everything's appropriate, and we're going to be commencing a 4,000 meter drill program soon. These are those rocks from the Whiskey Jack. So there's a very intense alteration that went along with that. Like I said, they can't even recognize what they were. The geologist was like, these are the most altered rocks I've ever seen. And for us, that, again, is the most important thing. The geophysical signature between the Upper Beaver and the hurricane zone are very similar, as you can see from the two geophysics, the geofantasy maps that we're seeing up there. The west side of our property, like I said, is a little bit different. It's the lode gold, the orogenic system. And this is where the majority of the historical exploration has been done because it's very similar to the Macassa mine. It's high grade, narrow width, and some of the best drilling that we've gotten is 316 grams over half a meter. So we know that it's a mineralized system. It's a matter of drilling it out further to figure out exactly where that's coming from. The far west side of this property, a lot of it hasn't been explored. And that's because there's till coverage. And the old timers really loved just going after the rocks that were existing and at surface. And so the regional exploration plan is to look at a till sampling program grid over the entire area to pick apart and figure out exactly what's happening there and where those opportunities lie. So those are the two major steps that are going to be going on for 2024. The benefit of where we work is that we're a drive to our drill site. And so I've worked in BC, I've worked in Northwest Territories, and I still remember getting the drill contract from our suppliers. And I read it over and I talked to Danielle and I was like, Danielle, they're missing a number here. This says $77 a meter. There should be a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4 in front of this. And I couldn't believe it. I was absolutely blown away. So our all-in costs are under $250 a meter, including assays, including geologists. And so we can get a lot more done with the money that we have. And so just to remind you, we have $5 million in the bank and we're drilling right now. We switched assay labs, so we're going to be using MSA to use the photon assay. And what that means is we're going to get expedited results. So within 2 to 3 days, we can get the return on the gold content. And then that's going to be sent off to Vancouver from Kirkland Lake to do the multi-element assay, which will take a few weeks. But it allows us to fine tune our targeting with those immediate returns, which is really exciting for us. So unfortunately, I'm out of time, but like I said, I'm in booth 734. So if you have any questions or you want to get into more of the technical guts of the story, by all means, please come by and I'd be happy to talk to you.